Hello everyone and welcome back to Steelroot. We're still in the process of just wrapping up our Earth Repopulator, and we're slowly getting there. So there are a couple of things that we have addressed last time, the biggest part being building additional forestry areas for our beavers to, well, plant and harvest some trees. So based on that, I'm hoping we'll be overall okay. Once they grow in, we should actually just make a ton more logs, as we're currently down to 0. Now with 0 logs, there's not a lot that we can do in theory, but we can go around and harvest some of the materials, or some of the buildings that we actually no longer need, such as the platforms over here that we can easily destroy, as well as the levies that we had built over there. In addition, we could actually remove these power wheels as well as these power shafts. None of these are connected anymore at this point, so there's no real reason to keep them around. So let's go ahead and destroy them, recycle everything basically. And like I mentioned before, that will give us a little bit more resources that we can utilize for our building projects that we are working on. All right. With that kind of taken care of, we might as well actually dynamite this part out, giving us a bit more water storage over here, although at the moment, I don't think that is quite necessary. So for now, we're going to leave it as that, but we'll keep it as an possible opportunity for future work. Now, right now, we have 2 of our bots that are not doing anything, and our mine is actually full of them. Let's have a quick look. We're okay. Basically, in terms of treated planks, regular planks are slowly going down, kind of makes sense. And some of our treated planks are actually going into our Earth Repopulator, same as the metal blocks. With metal blocks, that just goes up and down, which is kind of to be expected. Let's find a smelter down here. They're just lacking a little bit in scrap metal, and that's kind of what these are for. But they are lacking treated planks. So for now, I think we're gonna pause them, just so we can start shipping the treated planks back over to our mine and start building this up a little bit. Although we do actually have a ton of scrap metal. So I think one suggestion that came from, well, as she called herself, Pierogi Girl. So we're gonna build some more hollow posts. We do have a ton of normal beavers that are currently doing nothing. And I think it is time that we utilize their, well, their skills. Or, you know, if not skills, their work power. The biggest challenge is finding a spot to build a few more hollow posts. And I'm looking at this area right here that we could actually properly utilize and also relatively easily utilize. Alternatively, we could actually put a few more up this way. And why don't we actually do that? So if we were to build, I'm gonna say, actually, let's just look at it. Don't need to guess. So, city district, not builder's hut, hauling post, it's 3 wide. So, in order to build one up here, we can only put 1 up here. But regardless, that is a good starting point. So let's go ahead. I prioritize these overhangs. And then we can place a path over this way and put our hollow post just on top. Right, we could make that hollow post be run by the bots, Don't know if that is quite necessary. Let's actually have a look at our other hollow post that's down here. It is completely full with regular beavers, so, you know, that will kind of work out. And we're almost done with this part. Let's high prioritize the hollow post as well. And see if we can't fit in another one somewhere. We could utilize that area up here, right next to the food factory. Build it over this way. Forgot why we built this. Oh, look at that. We can actually create a shortcut. Not that we really need it, but if we can, why not? All right, so if we were to build something on top here, let's have a quick look. I think it would be another 3 deep placement, just like that. That will actually do just fine. So let's go ahead, high prioritize that. Put in another hollow post or hauling post just on top, and then connect this up as well. Now with this hollow post in, oh, need to set this to 10 workers, and this hollow post coming in, workers also up to 10, we're going to be in a much better situation. Again, we still have some more bots available that we could assign to something. So let's see if we have any high risk places. We could actually just put them into the grease factory. 2,500. Don't need to worry about science. So they are in the grease factory, and I don't know if we have one in here. Nope. Let's replace you with a bot as well. Because ultimately you're the one supplying us with the canola oil that we will need to produce the grease up here. Building lacks material. Planks, that makes sense because we're still lacking some wood. Now these have grown in now. Making sure they're not even marked to be chopped down, so we need to do that. Done. All of these are not marked, so let's go around and do that. And that makes me think the other side is probably not marked as well to be chopped down. So that is the next thing that we're going to look at. And yep, that is absolutely correct. All right, here we go. Not that we don't have any woodcutters over here yet, but you know, they will come. All right. Still 9.5 days in the bad tide, but with this coming in now with wood, also making sure, yep, all of this has been set up. Great. We can actually, we don't need to cut down these. But I think overall we're doing okay. We're definitely having now a good supply of, well, I'm assuming at least. Yep, a good supply of pine resin, so nothing to worry about there. Which means we could actually reduce the amount of trees we're keeping on this side, but you know, let's not overdo it. On the other hand, another bot is now ready to be working, so let's replace that woodcutter up here. Not that you can do anything yet, but it will come soon. But don't need to worry about that. And there's another bot. No, I was gonna say there's another bot available, but that one disappeared very quickly. And I think the reason why we're actually needing treated plank, no, okay, that just needs the extract in addition. What does our extract production actually currently look like? So this is our tank. It's a little bit low. Bad water is okay-ish. I don't think we have bad water storage. We do not. So what we could actually do, I know I set this to grease, but I think the grease that they are producing, that gets used up pretty quickly, so don't need to do that. How's our, oh, our hollows post is doing okay as well. which means our plank production looks okay. Treated planks looks okay. Look at this metal production, metal block production. So we could actually restart this. And you know what? Let's do it. The other thing that we always should check occasionally, we have actually 4 bots in here. We don't need 4 of you in there. Let's remove 2. The other thing, as I was mentioning, that we should check occasionally is our water supply. But overall, that looks just fine. Water tanks are also still full, so nothing to worry over there. Now, with the 3 additional bots now available, we can actually fill in our woodcutters on this side, just to get ready for these trees to be chopped down. I'm also going to place some more trees up here. Under wood, lumberjacks, here we go. Rotate. Set these 2 bots. And then we still have 1 more bot available that we could assign to, well, something. Although I don't really have anything in particular where I would need a bot to be working at. Food-wise, we're doing more than okay. Corn rations is, I think, slowly going up. Fuel remaining. You need wood as well. Also, all of that, not too bad, not too bad. Right, let's for now leave the... I guess we could actually replace one of you guys with a bot. There we go. So this way, at least, we're making good use of our bots, and once they have finished building these lumberjacks, should probably just prioritize one of them so they get things done. We're overall, again, doing all right. No bad water in here yet. Guess that's okay. Let's make sure we have enough extract over here. Look at that. Now our mine has gone down in terms of productivity. Well, not productivity, number of bots. Oh, because they finished both these lumberjacks. Alright. Either way, that is fine. Like I said, we are actually producing a good amount of metal blocks. Where did they go? Oh, because I resumed it. They're going straight in here. 600 metal blocks to go. 500 treated planks. Time for a sip of coffee. And then we could figure out how we can improve our overall productivity. One option would be to remove that gear workshop, because we have plenty of gears now, 209. I forgot what the Earth Repopulator needs afterwards in order to send out the planes. So maybe we'll first fill up the gears and then take it from there. We have also a ton of storage for metal we're not using at all. This is metal too? No, this is just logs. This is metal. This is planks. You know what? Overall doing okay. What else could we do in the meantime? We could build another hauling post somewhere. Figure out how to squeeze in a bit more buildings. Not that they're needed or mandatory-wise required. But we could just try. For example, can we actually put a hauler post underneath our wind tunnel? So this is how I would check. Well, check might be a bit overstated. I was thinking we could actually go from up here, but there's no pathway. So we wouldn't be able to go from up here. Could build one over this way. if that is, there is a this fits and this fits. Oh, perfect. There we go. Now, with that in, well, not in, but with that set to being done, let's just high prioritize this and just add one more hauling post in here. Maximum number of workers, all the regular beavers. And make sure this is also set to highest priority. Right, resetting this. Now this should slowly come in. It's on the same height as our Earth Repopulator. Not too bad overall. Created planks, everything is steadily rising. Now the big question would be, are we going to... actually, I should replace you guys with bots. The next big question, should I just keep optimizing things like this? Because at the moment, it is a little bit more of a just waiting game at this point, to be honest. Yeah, we could build out every piece of material that we need. Look at how much scrap metal we actually have. All right, you know what? Do it out. And we're gonna replace you with another smelter. Highest priority again, because I want this to be done so we can very quickly produce a bit more metal blocks, and that will help us again just speed this up. We also need to put this in so that our grease factory is supplied with power again. All right. Coming along quite nicely. Just 3 more scrap metal. Where is all my scrap metal? There's 1 storage here. But I must have at least 2 more storages, no? That's a builder's hut? That is kind of the downside of building it like this. I'm debating on trying this again. Maybe not with this footprint, but a similar footprint, and being a bit more systematic. Get the beavers flying. A bit more systematic with this, so it's not as chaotic. Although the chaos is kind of funny and nice to play with, something a bit more straightforward might actually be quite beneficial. Anyways. Water still overall doing okay. This area here has so far been completely supplied with water. So that is awesome. This area, on the other hand, is drying out really quickly. Which I guess kind of makes sense. So we could increase a little bit more water storage over there. What's our dynamite situation look like? 218. So that is plenty. And our extract, 1. And we are really low on extract. But regardless, 218 will allow us to put a little bit of dynamite in there and make the storage in here a little bit more efficient or effective. Either way. Makes me think though, if our extract supply is so short, we should really build another... Actually, let's have a look how they're doing. They're just lacking bad water. So instead of doing anything like building another extract factory, what we really need to build is more bad water units. So I am going to delete... I don't need to delete you. But what we are going to do is put a bad water pump right here. And then we could place one here and connect it up. And that's exactly what we're gonna do. Make sure that is also set to be built by, to be run by bots, not built by bots. I mean, ultimately it will also be built by bots. So remove that path and put in the another bad water pump right here, and just make sure it is connected with the path. Set it to be run by bots. Here they come. We're building all of this relatively quickly. Now with all the bots in here, what we should really put in there as well, or not in there, somewhere over here as well, is actually a charging station. And I think what we're just gonna do is build a... Actually, let's not put this one up here. Let's put it like... What would be a good level to put it in? Actually, this path doesn't make sense. So what we can do instead is connect this one up here, remove this, and then we're going to take a vertical shaft, put it down, or bring it down, not put it down. Make sure we're connecting it up as well. And then we can put a charging station on this side as well as this side. There we go. Our water pumps are in. They are already producing, which is awesome. And that should supply our centrifuge with more. Wow. They're getting a lot of bad water really quickly. One extract left. Keep in mind, we need extract not only for our mine, but also for our beaver population. With the advanced breeding pods, they do need extract for the beaver growing process that you see here, berries and extract. So just good to know. All right, this has started to dry out, dying in 12 days, which is fine. These will die earlier. These we will not be able to recover, but that's all right, to be honest. But overall, I think we're doing much, much better. Not entirely sure if it was necessary to put 2 of them in, but instead of just 1. But regardless, our centrifuge is now working properly for a good amount of time. It doesn't need logs though to be powered. A lot of stuff that just needs logs to be powered. Bummer. Because we're, again, kind of running a bit short on logs. However, our new areas should be coming in soon. 70% basically. 70% of 30 days is 21 days, so we have 9 days left. So it will be a while before we actually produce additional wood. We could also, I forgot how much wood the mangroves. 2 wood in 10 days. That would be 6 and 30. We could actually, you know what? Why not? I never used the mangrove trees for wood supply, so it'll be an interesting experiment. Let's make sure we're prioritizing the wooden staircase. I think this part over here will be reachable by both the woodcutter and the forester. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Forester, yes. Woodcutter, not quite, but it reaches to here. So let's go ahead and fill this up with mangroves as well. Why are you not planting this? Because there's no water. That makes a ton of sense. So the mangroves, obviously, they need to be submerged, like you see over here. And over here, we only keep it alive because this guy is just continuously dumping water over this way. Oh, wow. You're pretty low. Didn't quite expect that. How long was this drought? I'd taken a break in between those episodes, so I don't quite remember. It's still crazy. Anyways, let's have a look. Oh, we're again another step higher with the Earth Repopulator. 300 units of either material. So things are moving fast, finally. Our scrap metal is going down, our planks are going up, and both our metal blocks and our treated planks are being used up on the spot. So that seems to be going okay. Now, what would I have done differently? If I could go back in time, I would have optimized all of this. I think it is quite essential to continuously build forestry areas as you progress. So we now have kind of, I would say, if we had a forestry area of our initial size, 3 of them, relatively early from the get-go, maybe even 4 of them actually, with considering how large this area is. Maybe that initial forestry area was also a bit too small. Since they are dying, and they will regularly die, why don't we actually go ahead and replace these with some more oak trees? And we can actually... no, we wanted to keep a 1 level area kind of around here. And initially I was thinking of building a little wall out, just like that. Yeah, that's not happening. But you know, it's the thought that counts. So anyways. Metal blocks are actually skyrocketing. Awesome, awesome. Only need 200 more. And I think I'm gonna just take a quick break, so to speak. Why are you sleeping outside? Oh wow, we have 13 homeless beavers. I'm not taking good care of my beavers. Where could we place another... beaver hut building? Something? Let's see. It'd be nice to put it over this way, but I don't think we can actually place anything on top. No. So if I were to do this, oh no, that's not what I mean. If I were to try to do this, that won't work. I guess that kind of makes sense. So we could actually build another house just over this way. But I don't know if I like that either. So instead, we... Because this would need to go 1 higher to build something else over this way. Then we... guess we could put that in, but I don't want to, because then I'm using a support that's not part of our initial area right there. I could remove those 2 and replace them with something a bit more meaningful. How many beavers? 8, compared to 16 if I were to build this one. So one of these replaces both of these. And we could probably get 2 of them in here. It'd be nice to keep our settlement area kind of the same. Alternatively, if I destroy you, put a staircase in, and then move you guys over this way. So this would need to be a 5 deep, and I can easily put in one more house on this side. Technically, I only need a 4 deep to get that done. No, I needed 5 deep. All right, so let's go ahead and build that. Make sure, let's have a quick look at our housing. Large barrack, it's 3 by 3. So we need a 4 unit wide platform, just like that. And then we are going to, sorry, you just went there, mate. My bad. If we're building it up like that, we get a little bit more building area right here for another house. And part of you will actually be fully supplied by at least that tree and technically that rooftop. But we probably want to build another rooftop anyways. All right, here we go. Put the barracks in. And then to make them happier, now let's just leave it for now. I was just thinking maybe a lantern could be nice, but in all honesty, this is probably... Although we're not going to build another house, will we? 14 homeless beavers. Maybe we will actually need another house. So I'm going to wait until I decide that, and just make sure that one house gets built so we don't have too many unemployed beavers. Alright, this is now completely dried out. Why are you guys actually so slow? It's probably because I prioritize everything else. Anyways, we can already explode you guys. So when the water comes back, we get at least a little bit of storage in, and they should still be able to build the rest as things move along. All right. Only 86, 88 more metal blocks left that we need. And that, I guess, will get slowed down as they are building this part here right now. But we're also again out of logs. But trees are still growing. So that's at least something. And with that, the bad tide is over. Regular season is coming back, which is good because our water storage for our water pumpers is empty. Makes me wonder if we should build one more of the water tanks just in case. We still have, oh, we only have 3,000 water left. Yeah, let's go ahead and put in another water storage. There we go. Also set this to the highest priority because that's what we do. Again, we high prioritize everything. At least the platforms only need planks. And actually, so does the tank. Very nice. But we're really short on planks. So, oops. Yeah. In the next run, and I think I've said that last time, I just need to make sure we're getting more wood supply on the go relatively quickly. I also think I made this one too deep, because part of it actually dehydrates during the day. which not great, not great. Anyways, we're almost there with our metal blocks. And then, well, we have 4 unemployed bots. What are we gonna do with so many bots? And you guys are flooding again. Of course you are. Maybe we actually take this one. 7? Oh, that's why we had so many unemployed bots. The stuff gets flooded. And because of that, probably should then just replace this with a sluice. Because then we can set the height to be not 1 max, but a little bit less before it shuts down. And then we don't need to worry about flooding. It also gives us 15 logs back, so let's do that. Close above downstream depth of 0.9. Set this to highest priority. Planks and metal blocks. Definitely doable. Flooding disappears. Still have 4 unemployed bots. So we are going to set you guys to bots, but not 10 of them. 5 will do. Because this way we still have 8 in our mine producing scrap metal. Alright, time to have another look at our extract production. Bad water log extract. Extract is disappearing very quickly. But we have enough bad water supply. One might argue 1 too many. So let me actually pause one of you guys. And you can go actually and work in the mine. So this way it kind of balances out a little bit. With our metal blocks though, almost done, almost everything that we needed. We're gonna switch you from the efficient to the regular scrap metal, so it only needs treated planks, which definitely will solve all of our demand problems for now. And only 7 more. We will then also just not need as much scrap metal in the long run. It's something that we just need to keep an eye out on, even though as it stands right now, we've used up all the scrap metal that we could possibly use. You guys are still building that. Still lacking logs. Have a look. You guys are... Can you not reach? You can reach these. But these are not set to be cut down, so let's fix that. Can you reach these? You can also reach them. Perfect. So that will definitely supply us with another round of logs. And I guess I'm now finally building that water storage down there. How is this looking? 90%. So another 3 days for it to be fully grown, and these are sprouting in as well. So our log shortage should be solved. And all of our metal blocks are in, which I think for now means... You know what? We're gonna save that for the next episode. So thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.